that if you're in a position, you also have to understand measure out the risk of it too. So if the risk is that you might not get your money back, but if you do, right, you get a really high reward, you have to recognize that out front. And this is a rule for all of us. I think a lot of times when we're investing in a deal, we focus on return on capital instead of return of capital. And you can get pulled into a lot of great deals that sound like they have a great return on capital. But if you're in a position, you also have to understand measure out the risk of it too. So if the risk is that you might not get your money back, but if you do, right, you get a really high reward, you have to recognize that out front, right? Understand that. So this is one of the things that I look at all the time because people would tell me, I've got this great deal for you. You're going to make all this money. It's like, but isn't there also this risk that I might not be able to get it back? For those of you guys who are thinking about lending money or even just any general investing, there is a book that is kind of the OG book for lending. It's called The Richest Man in Babylon. It was written about it felt like 1900, 1920 or something like that. And it's written in that way. So for me, like sometimes because of the way it's written, I feel like I have to go back and reread sentences again because the sentence structure is a little bit different. But the principles in that book are as good today or over 100 years later as they were at the time that it was being written. Real principles, and there was one story in particular where it talked about this guy who was a bricklayer, and he was telling the person who he wanted to stake him, listen, I've got a way to be able to bring home these rubies, these precious metals. I just need an investment from you, and I will give you half of whatever I get. So the investor is thinking, wow, I can't lose on this. So he sends the bricklayer out to go and get these rubies. Bricklayer is so excited. Goes out, buys these rubies, comes back, shows it to the person who he'd borrowed money from. What did the person he borrowed money from say? What did he do? He took a hammer and he crushed the rubies. Bricklayer was like, why did you do that? Why did he do that? Because he knew the guy did not buy real rubies. So where does that tell? That story tells me is I want to invest with people with experience. I want to invest with the people who can tell the difference between plastic and real jewels, things that are actually valuable. So don't just focus on how much you're making, Armadia. Make sure that you're investing in something that's actually going to return.
Everything that you need to know, what you need to become a real estate investor, we have it done for you. So click on the link in the comments below and we'll share all that data with you.